Hi there, it's time for the third part of our Cannondale F600 paint. And now don't worry, you don't hear to the guy talking there because I only recorded this part in Polish, so I'm gonna be commenting on this one. We did remove the paint, we did fix the dent, and now what I'm doing, I'm preparing the frame for the primer. Now I did put the primer already on the filler, on that dent, only on that small area on the top tube. But now we are sanding a whole frame because, as I'm showing you here, before using sandpaper, the frame, it's kind of dark, it's like a gray, because the aluminum, it does react with oxygen, and after, as you can see, it gets much more bright, much more shiny. You can see a real color of aluminum. That's why I used two papers, one with 180 grade and another one 240 grade. Now I'm showing you that everything must be really clean. After using my sandpaper, I just cleaned the frame, and now I'm using a solvent, like some kind of strong degreaser, with just very clean gloves that I'm gonna be changing while I'm doing this. As you can see, you will see on the cloth a lot of, it's not a dirt, but those particles of the aluminum that sandpaper would just remove from the frame. As you can see, it's quite dirty, so now I'm replacing the cloth with another one, very clean one, and once more I'm gonna go over the frame. Here I'm just showing you that I didn't protect the bottom bracket place and the head tube for a reason. I saw on the original frame that there was paint inside, so bottom bracket was painted inside, and there was also some primer on the head tube. I could consider maybe having some problems with the thread when putting back the bottom bracket inside, but I thought, well, if it was painted originally, I'm gonna do it in the same way. At least I'm gonna put some primer in there and into the head tube as well. So there is no protection here. Those areas are open. If I had some problems with the bearings, putting back some bearings, I can always use some sandpaper and remove a bit of the paint or the primer. Now I'm showing you, because I just touched those two places, I'm going to degrease those once more in clean gloves. So I'm trying to be like very precise. I'm trying to do all the stages of this work very fine, and the frame is now ready for the primer. So using the primer is no big deal really. As I'm not very much experienced in this, I will use some very short moves, because I don't want to have any bruises on my frame. But to be honest, with the primer, it's the easy part. So if you haven't been painting your frame yet, using the primer will be very good exercise before the paint, because with the paint it will be a bit more tricky. So as you can see, I'm simply going over a whole frame. And I'm going to put two layers on the primer. So we had one primer already on the area where the filler is on the upper tube, on the top tube where I fixed the dent. And now I'm putting the first layer of the primer. Most likely just one layer would be just enough, would be okay. But I want to have this surface very even, because the bike is going to be white. So that's why I decided to go over all those places just twice. But this is still just the first layer. As you can see, just short moves, not too much. I'm trying also to save the primer, but it's okay. This can that I'm having there is just more than enough for this frame. So this is how it looks like. Alright, that's the frame with the first layer. It's not glossy, it's kind of, I'm showing you some place, maybe I touched it with my finger there, or it's maybe just a little bruise. As I'm showing you, there are some spots on the bottom of the tubes where I didn't put enough of the primer, so the second layer will be just cool, just fine here. Another thing is that in the meanwhile, I called once more the paint shop where I bought all these chemicals for painting, whether I should put the second layer on the kind of wet primer on the first layer, or just wait until it dries up and then use sandpaper once more in order to make it matte and put another layer. And they said, since there was just around 40-45 minutes after I painted this one with the first layer, they said it's okay not to use sandpaper, just put another layer of the primer. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's still kind of, it's not super dry, and I was told to put another layer once more. So that's what I'm doing. Of course, ideally you would like to have your frame like hanging from the from something, from any kind of hook that you would have fixed. Of course, the garage would be just perfect place for this. But I'm managing here, it's okay. It's of course the amateur way of doing this. I'm trying to doing this like it's like homemade project. But my goal here is to make just a strong enough paint so that it will last. Tricky places are the cable guides, of course, so pay really close attention to the cable guides. But now I think the frame just looks very cool. It will now dry for around 24 hours, and the next day I'm gonna go to the paint shop and order a paint, white paint. They will make a paint with some special kind of hardening chemicals in it, so it's not just like a paint can from the store. It will be made for me, and I will have 12 hours to use that paint for the frame. And I was told that is the best way of painting the frame just at home, so that the paint will be really strong. But there were some issues. I mean, in the future there will be some issues with the paint, so stay with me till the end of this series so that you will know how it went. This is how it looks like, 24 hours drying up and then ready for paint. So I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.